Malik.
Good morning.
A resounding good morning to welcome us back from the weekend.
Yes,
and how was the weekend?
yes.
Anyway?
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, it was fabulous. We went for that elocution training, which you didn't turn up. I don't know if you were.
I was in Takrady.
Yeah, you were Takrading.
I was Takrading. Okay, so let's hear some of that elocution now. Front pages.
Yes. Let's start with the Chronicle newspaper. Ex-President versus Africa Watch. Rawlings wins round 1. Awarded 2,000 Ghana cedis cost. Military deny butcher of soldier. Search for the next IGP. NLA trains NAPCO solar panel installations.
Now, the Gold Street Business is reporting this morning foreign reserves drawn down by 612 million US dollars in April, but balance of payments remains positive, and the government is still facing deficit financing shortfalls as BOG announces policy rate today. There's one about 379 million public entities bad loans to be written off. Those are stories on the front page.
The Economy Times has that fiscal deficit story on the front page as well. Government fiscal deficit widens. But also on the front page of the Economy Times, public debt rises to 198 billion. And Ghana records 1.2 billion trade surplus.
Now, the Ghanaian Times is reporting this morning Ghana tops FDI in West Africa due to prudent economic management, and there's one about police grabbing woman 32 for attempted murder, and ex-President Rawlings Zoom Lion Forestry Commission plant trees to mark June 4th uprising. There's one also about the Vice President appealing for calm in Tripoli.
That Vice President appealing for Kamison is the banner headline, is the lead story on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer. Bawumia appeals for peace in Chereponi, urges feuding factions to fight poverty and not each other. And GEPA strategizes to increase market share, use policy summit to tweak government programs. That's Ogwama Henny talking, and the Rawlings planting trees is on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer.
Now, the New Crusading Guide is reporting this morning. Rot at GRA. Commissioner General readies to probe the Osu branch. There's one about Child Rights International saluting the First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo. Then a group is demanding a law banning payment of medical bills for government appointees.
The Daily Statesman newspaper has "Let's kill poverty, not people." That's Bawumia saying Vice President urging peace in Chereponi. Interest on Maslock loans to be cut by half. Credit terms ease as loans agency moves to cover whole country.
Now, today is reporting this morning, go to court for your monies and then pay customers. Indom is charging the Gold Coast customers on the front page of today. Now,
Indom is asking the customers to go to court.
No, he's charging Gold Coast.
Okay, he's charging his company.
Yes, to go to court. Take the money and pay the customers.
His company?
Yes, his company.
Okay.
Now, also on the front page of that paper is DCE swindles orphans. That's on the front page of today. There's one about the NLA training graduates in solar panel installation and maintenance.
And then let me just comment on the Indum asking the company to go to court, and you repeated it, and I'm sure you did that for a fact. The purpose for which he's saying the company should go to court is that the company has a separate, distinct legal personality from him as a person. So the company can sue and be sued. It is for that purpose that he's saying the company should go to court.
But isn't he chair of the group?
Yes.
Exactly. So is this a front page or this is something that he should be directing?
Directors as well. There are other directors. The decision may not just be his as chair. There are other directors. So he's telling them to go to court.
People don't want to reveal the story again later on, I hear.
Let's see the Daily Graphic newspaper. Mofa suspends exports of selected vegetables. Government makes headway in U.S. visa restrictions. That's Ejebo was saying. GEPA strategizing to increase market share. He said, New Companies Act, game changer. It will eliminate shady ownership deals. That's Otin JC saying. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. MTN Otumfo Anniversary Cup. Kotoko beat ASEC to lift trophy, and Liberty win to finish third.
Now, the Finder is reporting this morning NI 1.2 million registered in Accra East Mass registration is starting on June 4th. There is one about the 198 billion public debt, and again, there's one also about we did not waive bills for Krobo residents, and traditional council assures of incident-free Homo War. That's on the front page there.
Let's start with the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper, Daniel. Now, the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been touring some parts of the country as part of his usual Ramadan tours. He was in Paga in the Upper East region. He went to the Paga Mosque. During prayers, after the prayers, he told the Muslims in the mosque that all Muslims and all other citizens across the country should fight poverty and not each other. And he was talking about the disturbances at Chiriponi that has led to loss of many lives and the burning of properties. He says the biggest problem facing Ghana today is poverty, and that Ghana is large enough to contain all of us. Therefore, should be no reason why any persons should take up arms against fellow citizens because of a piece of land or for whatever motivation. Now, yesterday I was at an event organized by the Muslim Security Services Association in Accra here. A member of the association, who's a policeman and a lawyer, Al-Hassan Dramani, made the point that he thinks that the authorities are not implementing the laws of Ghana. It is the reason why we have some of the disturbances we have. And he cited the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2008, Act 762. And he said that act requires that persons who engage in the kind of conduct that the people in Chiriponi, the Pungpamba, we call them Kunkumbes. The proper pronunciation for the people is the Pungpamba. The
Pungpamba.
Yes. The Pungpamba and the Chokosis who are killing each other in that area. If we implemented the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2008, that will stop. You remember last week we reported that 5 of the persons had been convicted for possession of unlawful possession of weapons without lawful authority.
Yeah.
Now his argument is that we did not apply the proper law, and he quotes the chapter. He quotes section 1 of the law, and it says that a person shall not engage in a terrorist act. Now, section 2 defines a terrorist act as an act. An act is a terrorist act if it is performed in furtherance of a political, ideological, religious, racial, or ethnic cause, and causes serious bodily harm to a person, causes serious damage to property, endangers a person's life, and creates a serious risk to the health and safety of the public. And the last one involves the use of firearm and explosive. He says that if the persons who were caught with arms, those persons, whether they were Chokosis or they were Pungpamba, the purpose for which they wielded those arms was to kill. And who were they going to kill? They were going to kill the opposing ethnic group. Therefore, the conduct was in furtherance of the objectives of an ethnic group. So this law should have been applied. He's advocating the application of this law because the sentences, the punishments in this law are serious. You can go to jail up to 25 years. And he says, and yet these persons were given 5 years minimum. But if they were charged under this law, they would have gone to jail for 25 years. Maximum.
You know what? It reminds me of what Randy Abbey said on Newsfile on Saturday, that we all scream loudly for enactment, but we look on sheepishly when it comes to implementation. It's time for us to really look at these laws being implemented. But let's take this opportunity, guys, to clarify this. There were some pictures floating on social media over the weekend, particularly yesterday, of some dead bodies lying around in someone wearing blue and khaki trousers and with this black protective vest bent down over these dead bodies. We have been checking, they were said to be persons in Chiriponi, but we have been checking with the Defense Ministry, the DCEs of both areas, and also even the leaders of the factions, and no one has been able to confirm that this happened. In fact, it's the suspicion of some officials of the ministry that these pictures are not from Ghana. Those particular pictures are not from Ghana, and some have said that they are rather old pictures that happened with previous events. So as of now, we have not been able to confirm. Contrary to what some people have been saying, that this is coming from Chiriponi. But let's move away, Raymond, from the violence.
Now, let's talk about that, because, of course, the Vice President actually chairs the Economic Management team. So this is very important to him, too. Now, the Bank of Ghana on Friday released what is called the Summary of Economic and Financial Data. Mostly publishes that to tell you every month what the state of the economy is on most important issues. One of the things taken out from that particular report is the fact that our public debt is now 1 1.98 billion Ghana cedis. This is made up of 105 billion external debt and 92.8 billion domestic debt. So that's the difference in that particular end. Now, one of the other things you ought to know about this situation is that this means that 24.8 billion was added to the public debt in the first 3 months of 2019. The expectation, government told us, according to borrowing calendar, that we are supposed to be borrowing some 23 billion more in the first half of 2019. You get the difference? Yes. The other thing that you should know about what this is supposed to mean is that, we spend a huge chunk, and one of the areas that people have talked about is not long ago we did do the 3 billion euro bond, which is of course part of the debt accumulation for 2019 so far. The concern is that 21.1 billion was actually paid as interest payments alone in 2018. So in the year 2018, we raised 37.8 billion. We used 55% of that amount of money to pay interest on the loans, not the loans itself in this particular case. One other thing that people are alluding to, and the finder, for example, thinks that the 3 billion is part of the recent public debt stock rise. Again, cedi's sharp depreciation against the dollar in this particular case, what happened a couple of months ago.
Yes.
And also what government calls exchange losses is partly responsible for what's the current state of the debt in that particular area. There are other points that people are raising about what this will mean going forward for how agencies outside Ghana rate us. Now, the good news is that whilst the debt stocks seem to be having some dramatic increases, it's not reflecting the debt to GDP ratio. Indeed, the debt to GDP ratio is 57.5%.
Because the GDP has been rebased.
Yes, and the rebase produced very nice figures. So in 2017, our GDP was 256 million. In 20 billion, the 2018 one was about 300 billion. We are projecting this year, and that's projection, that we will get 344 billion as GDP. If that doesn't happen, it will show highly on our debt to GDP ratio.
Okay.
Hope you get
That's
the difference.
a little less than 10% GDP growth, right?
Yes. So that is of course, we are hoping that we will get 7.2% in GDP growth,
which will give us a
344. Okay. In fact, the IMF is actually, the World Bank rather is projecting that we'll do higher than that. 7.6% is this is April 1. Mostly they review it in the next 3 months, and by the end of October, they'll be telling you your actual state going forward.
But Raymond, as we always ask when you quote these nice figures, where is the money in our pockets?
Okay, but so the interesting part, the interesting part is that because you have a chunk of your money, and I'll just do about 55% going into interest payments alone of the tax revenue that you issued, that means you need some other source of money to deliver the things you want to deliver, roads,
which is why we are
schools,
doing things like Hydro.
Yes, so it sounds like we'll consistently borrow, and the borrowing for the first half, I doubt if you will keep within that range, because really, from the current trend, it's likely to go beyond that.
Malik, it's okay. The borrowing is okay.
Yes. Then I remember last week I did this story. I reviewed this story in the Chronicle newspaper, in which a soldier was reported to have been butchered by some ganja smokers.
In the Western region.
In the Western region.
I remember.
Yeah, of course. In the Western region, you have to remember.
I was asking around about that when I went home.
Yes. The Ghana Armed Forces in the Western region say all their checks indicate that this incident did not happen.
Okay.
And they said they've checked within the second garrison in Takrady. They've checked within some hospitals as well, and none of the places that they searched yielded any such record. So the alleged butcher of the soldier they contend cannot be a member of the Ghana Armed Forces, or from the second garrison, as alleged by the Chronicle newspaper. They said the Chronicle newspaper should offer proof of its allegation and notify any military installation of the civil police for the necessary action to be taken.
Right.
And again, they advise the media to be circumspect when they report on this. The Chronicle's response is that, well, they were not reckless in compiling the story. They checked with the assembly member for the area. They checked with the MCE for Kusimin team. They checked with the Ghana Police Service. They spoke to the Ghana Police Service in Takrady. And all these officials that they spoke to confirmed that this incident had happened. And so, well, the Ghana Armed Forces may say they don't know about any persons, like no person has been missing in the area.
I found it difficult also to ascertain some of the facts in there, but we are still checking. We haven't fully, we are not fully done with that. But Mr. Indum is asking us to go to court. Dr. Indum is asking us to go to court.
No, he's actually asking his company,
I know.
and this is a direct order from him, who in his capacity as president and chairman of Group Indum, is asking the Gold Coast Holdings to proceed to court immediately to recover investment funds valued more than 3 billion Ghana cedis from government agencies, 1, 2, contractors, and 3, financial institutions. He believes that all the efforts by the institution to try and get the money from these institutions have not yielded the right, what they call, results. Now, the other thing he wants done is a publication of the list of everybody who owns GN and also Gold Coast Securities and is failing to pay.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, so a publication, and not only at the offices, but wherever relevant. Of course, today is also promising that they will actually put it out there. This is because he personally has walked to virtually all the important ministries and departments and agencies of state required to make payments to these contractors and other people who are owing the Gold Coast Securities, and they are refusing to comply. Indeed, some of the people, according to the paper, have actually told him that we don't owe you, we owe the contractors who actually took money from you to go and do some of these projects. So we have an arrangement with them. We are going to deliver on these arrangements.
What I understand from some members of Group Indum, some officials of Group Indum, is that when they were giving the loans to the contractors, they also offered added services of helping them getting their monies back from government, so that they were helping them to structure their business in a way that they will be paid quickly. And that's some of the things that they were banking their hopes on. So I think that it will be very interesting when that list comes out, whether it's contractors or it's government officials. But the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is also in the
Yes. So the ministry has imposed a ban on some selected vegetables. They have been suspended from the list of exportable commodities from Ghana to the international market, particularly the European Union market. And this has been confirmed by the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. And it made this announcement and said, effective June 1st this year, the export of capsicum, that's a group of chili peppers, Soladium lufa, a group of cucumbers, and all leafy vegetables to the European Union will be suspended. The reason for this is that in the last how many years since the EU lifted a ban on the export of these vegetables into that market, many of the products that have been exported from Ghana into the market have been intercepted. Now, the MOFA is of the view that it is important for the authorities here to look into the reasons for these interceptions and to take measures to reduce some of the things that become the basis upon which the interceptions are done. And this is the reason why they are asking that we should stop. And of course, it all is the quality of the things that we send. And it's the quality which is the problem. So once we fix that, then we can continue to export as well. So the ban has been lifted by the EU. It lifted the ban a year and a half ago, but the other countries are intercepting the goods, the products that we send, the produce that we send, and it's because of the low quality stuff that we send, and some poisonous substances found in these leaves and vegetables that we send to those countries. And I have told you before when I have been to the Food Research Institute of Ghana, where this has been a big issue.
Okay, so has the public, the debt of the Kobo residents, has it been waived?
Now, okay, so the PDS is stating categorically, contrary to reports and also social media statement, it has not waived the 100 million that the people are talking about.
Yeah, I just saw the statement on their Twitter handle.
Yes, and what has happened really was that the debt determined was over 180 million.
Okay.
Now, that was projection, because they didn't have access to all the systems that were supposed to actually give them the actual ones. When they went in there to go clarify, they actually got the actual one being the 84. Okay. So instead of saying that waived, making it look like people consume the power, and yet we are looking at them and saying that you can take this for free. No, that's not the case. The case is that their actual debt was the 84 million.
Okay.
This was after reconciliation and auditing of the bills, which actually clarified the amounts involved in this
So
case.
effectively, the monies owed have been reduced.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Ray. The online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy. You can make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from Goyle, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. Goyle Super XP and Diesel XP are additivated to enhance strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you are guaranteed extra quality with a fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of Goyle's over 360 service stations nationwide and experience good energy. Buy Goyle, grow Ghana. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Now go lights with Zenith Bank and have dinner on us at the plush African Regent Hotel. Now, isn't that exciting? To enjoy this offer, simply use any MasterCard to make a minimum purchase of 500 Ghana cedis on a Zenith Bank POS as the African Regent Hotel and be rewarded with a free dinner or a discount of 100 Ghana cedis on other meal options. Visit the African Regent Hotel today. Use any MasterCard or a Zenith Bank POS today and have dinner on us. Go light with Zenith Bank, pay light. Zenith Bank, in your best interests. Over 15 exploration companies lose licenses by the end of 2019. Energy Minister John Peter Amewu speaking there. The story is on myjournal.com. Pastors worship with Muslims at Kukom Central Mosque. Did you see that? It was so nice. They went to the mosque.
Great, beautiful pictures there. Yeah.
Yes. AdumOnline.com has a woman arrested in failed ritual murder. This happened in Akwetia, Osinase is the specific community. BBC.com has deadly attack on Catholic Church in Burkina Faso. 4 more people have died. That's about nearly 400 people who have been reported to have been killed since 2015. This security situation is getting a bit more worrying. We must look at that. But, okay, we'll take these important messages. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.